Advanced washer drum bearings part 8. We're going to be putting the bearings and lip seals in the prepared bearing housing. As you can see, it's all been polished clean. Out here, this edge, inside here. Weep hole cleared out and the back head cleaned up. So you want to get this in your press. Take your rear bearing. I like to leave them number side up for the next mechanic so he can read them before he removes it, but it doesn't really matter. Get that in place. Start with a flat plate. Now if it starts to go a little crooked, you can just loosen it a hair and adjust. It'll drop right in. As far as we can go with the flat plate. Now you really want to make sure your bearings are sunk in all the way. And at this point, if you don't have press pieces, you can always take one bearing size down and use that to press the bearing in, or take your old bearing over to a bench grinder with a good stone. You're going to need a bucket of water and cool it down as you go, but pretty much just grind the edges all the way around until it's smaller than the original bearing, and it'll drop right in without catching the sides. This makes the perfect press piece to press the next bearing in, because it'll catch both races on the bearing. But anyway, with this one here, we're just going to drop it down a size, put the plate back in, and this one only has a little bit further to go anyway. And you'll feel it bottom out. Okay, now we can flip it over, install the other bearing. Place. Now this one has a lot further to go, so we're going to use several other bearings to press it all the way down. Start with the one that we ground so it won't catch the sides and it's holding the races perfect. And you can go ahead and load a smaller bearing right on top of that one. Make sure that you're lined up well here, you don't have anything catching. Don't be surprised as you're doing this if the bearing suddenly drops on its own. That's normal. When it's lined up perfectly square, it should drop partway into the hole. But when you get near the bottom, it'll require the jack to press it in. Alright, we'll go ahead and stick another bearing in there. Make sure we've got it pushed down as far as it'll go. And that's really tight, still got room here as far as it'll go. Alright, now we're ready to install the lip seals. You're going to want to take the housing with the bearing we ground for the top there and bring that with you. Alright, now we're going to install the lip seals. The first seal, you can go ahead and just drive it all the way down to the bottom. Bearing again makes the perfect piece to press it in, catches it all the way around. Alright, now you're going to want to work your way around. You don't want to get it cocked all to one side, it'll ruin the seal. Just ease it in. Look at it, make sure it looks like it's sitting level. pretty good there. Now we want to get the next seal on, but we do not want to block the weep hole. So go much slower with this one, really take your time. Just a little bit. Brand new bearing housing, I'd go ahead and leave the new seal flush. But with an older housing, like we went and cleaned all the rust out of here, but you always wind up with a small amount of pitting. We're gonna go ahead and take this seal and sink it down just a little bit below the lip here. Again, go slow, you do not want to cover that weep hole. Best to make sure this is all level and even. You don't want one side of the seal sticking way up. Now, that's all we want, just a little bit of metal exposed here. See, the weep hole is not covered. Now we're going to go ahead and seal this with silicone. It usually doesn't happen, but every now and then, if you don't seal one of the older housings, a tiny bit of water will actually get through the edge here because it's pitted. So we'll just take care of that. And this takes very little silicone. You're packing it into the seam between the seal and the housing. Just make it rub all the way around. Now, you want to get any excess off the inside here. It's not really going to hurt anything, but you don't want it there. And then any excess, just push back in off the top lip here, so that'll all sit flat. All right, and just let it dry at this point.